It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Friday, the 17th of January. I'm Michael Groff. It's a glorious holiday weekend ahead weather-wise. Temperatures pretty close to where they ought to be. And that means mild days, but chilly overnights. And while we will see some clouds around today, mostly clear sky will be with us for the weekend. Now, as we go further into next week, slightly cooler temperatures come in here. We were looking at the possibility of a fairly widespread freeze, but maybe not so much now. We'll talk about the details of that, plus those precipitation chances, those very elusive precipitation chances, and so much more. But before we get to any of that, it is Friday. That means it's Photo Friday here. That's where we take a look at some of the photos and or videos that you guys have submitted. First up, David Parnell at Phoenix Country Day School from last Saturday. High school basketball ongoing. Of course, that's indoors, but wherever David goes, he takes these pictures. We do appreciate that. Looks like it was a glorious day. Of course it was. Why would weather be a problem? Why would we see any precipitation? Why? Yeah, we haven't had any measurable rain in 147 days. Why start now? Then Gary in Buckeye had a couple of very cold mornings. Check out these shots of his thermometer down in the mid-20s. And we talked about this one on the video the other morning. He got down to 22 degrees. Brr, man, that is cold. Of course, I'll take 22 degrees any day over 122 degrees. So, I'm not going to complain about this because we all know by the time we get to July, we'll be really wanting to go back to these days, right? Then we go to Buck up in Helena, Montana. Nice shot at a sunset there. Really do appreciate these shots from Big Sky Country. Yes, it's not just Phoenix or Arizona that, we highlight here for Photo Friday. You send us pictures from anywhere. We will show them. Of course we will. Then Michelle, the one and only Michelle, and myself took part in the hot chocolate run last month. Well, for me, it was more of a hot chocolate hobble. I've got quite a nasty case of Achilles tendonitis. I've had that for a few months now. So, but I still participated, kinda, sorta. And then we've got this shot from Joe in Central Phoenix from yesterday afternoon. And believe it or not, there were actually a few raindrops coming down. We did have some reports. I got a few reports from you guys of some sprinkles or some very light rain in and around the Phoenix metro area. Now, of course, at Sky Harbor Airport, there wasn't even a trace of rain. And for the most part, all this rain that fell yesterday was not even enough to measure, barely even enough to dirty up your windshield. But hey, it's something, right? Anyway, that's Photo Friday for the week. You've got a photo or video you'd like to submit. groffshow@gmail.com is that email address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for Photo Friday. All right, the almanac from yesterday. There it is, 76 degrees. It was a rather warm afternoon yesterday. 53 was the morning low. 68 and 46 are the averages. And, of course, no rain. And we are now solely in second place for the greatest number of consecutive days without measurable rain. And should we happen to make it to January the 29th, well, that'll be the day we tie that record. 160 days without rainfall. That's coming up. That's not too far away. As we look outside, it's 7:30 a.m. Yes, 50 degrees was the temperature at Sky Harbor. Dew point's 26, 40% the humidity. Wind light barometer is rising. All right, temperatures around the nation this morning. And yeah, it's kind of chilly way up in the Northeast. They've had a kind of cool winter and a lot of snow in some spots. Now, the rest of the country at the moment, not too bad. Actually, temperatures are above average in the northern plain states. We're up in the 20s and 30s, and really fairly average temperatures for most locations. A little chilly down toward parts of the Gulf Coast, but realistically, these are not bad. If we zoom in on some of these areas, the Northeast, we've got single digits and teens across Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, some 20s in parts of upstate New York, 20s and 30s. And this is some of the coolest air around the nation right now. But if we look down toward the south, the deep south, let's see. We've got 34 at Birmingham, Alabama, 25 in Huntsville, 30 at Tuscaloosa, 38 at Mobile. So it's in the 40s for Biloxi, Mississippi this morning. Down across the Sunshine State. This is where the boundary between the cooler air and that warmer air happens to be. You can see in North Florida, they're down in the 30s. Meanwhile, Central Florida in the 50s, South Florida around Key West, 68 degrees this morning. Up in the northern plains states, traditionally where you would expect it to be very cold, by our standards, this is chilly, but by their standards, I mean, keep in mind, we're in mid-January, and it's 34 degrees at Grand Forks, North Dakota. They're actually above freezing. 32 at Fargo. It's 32 in Bismarck. It's 23 in the Magic City of Minot, North Dakota. 28 degrees up in Walhalla. So these aren't bad, but keep in mind, by the time we get to about Monday morning, these temperatures will be, 30, 40 degrees cooler than what you're seeing here. In fact, in some cases, even lower than that. We could be seeing temperatures anywhere from minus 15 to minus 20, maybe even a little bit colder in a few spots across parts of North Dakota and northwest Minnesota. In the LA Basin and Southern California, conditions are improving quite a bit here. We're seeing that onshore flow. I mean, temperatures are rather chilly, but the air is fairly wet now. We're seeing higher moisture levels coming on in, and that's helping to fight those wildfires. And of course, with much calmer winds, things are looking better around there. And of course, for us, it's a fairly mild start to the day with temperatures mostly in the 40s and 50s across the area. So temperatures are a little bit above average here in the south central deserts. Satellite picture out here across the west, some clouds to the south of us. A few of those clouds will drift in here today for partly sunny sky. But other than that, we expect mostly clear sky this weekend. The main storm track will stay to the north of us for now. Watch warning map. We've got those winter weather advisories for the Dakotas and northwest Minnesota. Some snow is possible up there, some blowing and drifting snow too. And they're going to be on the leading edge of that Arctic air that's going to start plunging south tonight, tomorrow, and continuing into next week. Air stagnation advisories over parts of Oregon and Idaho. Some wind advisories to the east of us across New Mexico and West Texas. Convective outlook for today. No organized severe weather, but some thunder possible over parts of Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and southeast Louisiana. The precipitation outlook here. Rainfall for the next 7 days, valid through next Friday morning. From the WPC, rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing, nada, zilch, zero, niet. Absolutely zippo. And statewide, not much to be found either. And while we do expect to see some shortwave energy moving across the west, it's going to be dry for us. Just some cooler air coming in by the time we get toward the middle part of next week. We'll talk about all of this right now as we get to the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go, the GFS, the 06Z run. This is valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's that trough, the leading edge of that Arctic air that's across central Canada, moving into the northern plain states. You see that ridge that's nosing up into Alaska and the Arctic Circle. You're going to start to get that cross-polar flow, and that's just going to open that door for that Arctic air to begin plunging south. Now, that area of low pressure that moved through here yesterday gave us a few sprinkles across south central Arizona. That's moving off to the east, so we're left with slightly cooler temperatures in its wake here. What it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today for us: partly sunny this morning, more sun by this afternoon, and a bit cooler. High temperatures should be in the mid-60s today, as opposed to where we were yesterday, and that's the mid-70s. For tonight, the sky turns clear. Overnight lows will be down in the 30s for many of us, low 40s for the urban core. Tomorrow, it's more the same, except with more sun. Sunny sky, high temperatures, mid-60s. Same thing Sunday, mid-60s, sky mostly sunny. Monday, more or less the same thing. Highs should be up in the mid-60s. Now, as drier air continues to filter in once again, those overnight lows this weekend and early next week, down in the 30s for many of us. In fact, Monday morning could be in the 30s valley-wide. Now, the coldest spots, yes, you could be around freezing. So if you live in some of those colder areas away from central Phoenix, you're out there, let's say toward Queen Creek, Sun Lakes, Apache Junction, North Scottsdale, up in the McDowell Mountains, maybe, Carefree, Cave Creek, Surprise. Those areas, you may need to cover your plants Sunday night, Monday morning. And again, several mornings next week, but most of us are probably not going to get quite as cold as what was previously advertised. We were looking at temperatures maybe down in the mid-30s, even all the way down to the mid-city, the urban core. But now, temperatures are going to be up a few degrees from those forecasts, at least those projections. That's how it looks for now. Of course, we'll give you an update as we get closer. But at this point, a widespread freeze is not expected, but some freezing temperatures are possible in some of the colder valley locations. Let's go to Tuesday, and we do see some slightly cooler air coming in here. Highs back toward maybe the low, perhaps mid-60s on Tuesday. And yeah, probably the coolest night, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning with lows, again, anywhere from about 31 to 39 and high temperatures in the mid-60s. Let's keep going. This is Thursday. Now, ridging should build back a little bit here across the west, maybe not quite as much as originally thought, so high temperatures will get back to around 66 to 70, and we will see some high clouds, but that's going to be about it for Thursday. A week from today, this is Friday the 24th, big trough for the east, and a ridge out here in the west, and it's really more of the same, dry and mild conditions going out 10 days. This is Sunday the 26th. And a good number of our ensemble guidance, particularly in the European and Canadian model suites, indicates a broad retrogression of the pattern here across North America. That means we're going to see kind of this blocking pattern that's been with us for quite a while, and it's going to kind of back up or shift to the west a bit. And so the door is going to start to be open to shortwave energy moving down the west coast and carving out a broader trough in the western states, which could ultimately lead to not only cooler temperatures here in the southwest, but maybe a chance of precipitation. Now, yes, you've heard that before, and I'm not going to get too excited about it just yet. That's looking out toward 10 to 14 days, and that is an eternity when it comes to forecasting. So we're not going to really get too interested in that just yet. We're going to watch these model trends. That's what you look at out here at this time frame, 10 days and beyond. You just look at trends, nothing specific. The trend is for troughing to dig out here across the west, and that could lead to unsettled weather. It would be just so fitting if we crept all the way up to one day, maybe before that record of breaking the record for the most consecutive days without rainfall, and then we got rain. That would be what probably happens, right? But we'll see. At this point, though, right now we're going to just look at somewhat cooler temperatures out here toward about 10 days. And maybe beyond that period, the opportunity for some precipitation, but we'll believe it when we see it, right? Speaking of, let's take a look at rainfall for Phoenix out through the 31st of the month. This is off of the GFS ensemble, and you can pretty much forget it. Hardly anything to be found here. European ensemble. The control member is way up there at over 2/3 of an inch. That's good. But the ensemble mean, yeah, obviously nowhere near that. It's down there at about 2/10 of an inch. So will we see rain? Well, we'll see. Again, model trends point toward maybe some unsettled weather out 10 to 14 days. But all right, looking at temperatures off the national blend of models, pretty much where you'd expect them to be this time of year. Highs generally in the 60s, lows around 40. And again, this is at Sky Harbor. Your low temperature will almost undoubtedly be cooler than what is displayed here. And there will be an opportunity for some freezing temperatures in some locations next week. Phoenix is a huge place. I cannot possibly give you what the low temperature will be in your neighborhood, but just know that many of us will be down in the 30s. The cooler valley spots, the traditionally cooler spots, will be near freezing several mornings late this weekend and next week. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here on Monday morning. Of course, updates before that if necessary. And should you happen to enjoy these videos, and of course you do, because why else would you be here? Well, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make those monetary contributions to us. Or you can donate directly via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is the PayPal address. That is GROFFshow@gmail.com for PayPal. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Check out her blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, and also Adriana related, linked up down in the description. And what else is Michelle and Mike related is our streaming station. It's available 24/7, 365. You know what it is. It's called KMGX. What do? We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. And you can listen anywhere, anytime via those links in the description, or you can just go to kmgx.com and listen directly via that avenue. It's the most chaotic mix of music. What do we play over there? Stuff like this. There you go. And I can't play any more than that, obviously, because demonetization, DMCA, and all that fun stuff. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please, I want you to be safe out there. Have yourselves a great Friday and a wonderful weekend.